Hey guys, Hub here. What do going to the range, going to the gym, and going to a fancy restaurant all have in common? Give up? It doesn't count until you post it to social media. You've probably got a $900 brick in your pocket that can capture the entirety of the average range day. But what if range day runs long and turns into a range night? How are you going to capture that epic goon sesh with your boys? This is the pre-2023 definition of goon, by the way. Today we're going over a couple of different ways to record your nighttime exploits, whether you want to post it online or if you just want to have the footage to review and learn from, which is something we often recommend on this channel, watching yourself shoot to see what you're doing wrong. I've recorded nighttime footage with a bunch of different methods and devices, from holding a phone behind a PVS-14 all the way up to this recent acquisition, which is the GRE X night vision recorder. The GRE X is not the first night vision POV recorder that I've used, but so far it is definitely the best. And I am only wearing my sunglasses while day noodling in the intro to this video to piss you off specifically. You know who you are. Anyway, let's get into it. Today's video is brought to you by our channel sponsor, Blue Alpha. We are currently in the throes of Black Friday sales and Cyber Monday sales, but if you head on over to Blue Alpha, you're not going to find none of that shit. Something I've always admired about Blue Alpha is that instead of having regular sales throughout the year, they just try to price their stuff as low as possible all the time. So if at any point you find yourself in need of an EDC gun belt, a 2-layer battle belt or duty belt, dump pouches, magazine pouches, IFAK pouches, or rifle slings, head on over to Blue Alpha and pick one up. You're always getting the best price, and you're not going to regret it a week later when a sudden sale kicks in that you didn't know was coming. A big thank you to Blue Alpha for their continued support of this show. Thank you guys very much for watching. Let's get back into it. Alright, apologies in advance if I sound like shit, but I'm very sick right now. So when we're talking about recording night vision, we're not necessarily talking about mission recording, like for military or law enforcement. Really, it's just casual night vision recording, mostly for fun. Just for you and your boys to record your night vision shooting sessions. I've often said that watching yourself shoot is a good way to get better at shooting, and I think that applies to night vision too. So even if you don't intend these videos to ever see the light of day outside of your range group, it's still a good idea. The quickest and easiest way to record night vision is to hold your phone up behind your night vision device. It works surprisingly well. Everybody who buys night vision has to do that rite of passage of taking a picture of their toilet through their night vision device. Phone cameras are pretty flexible. You just smash your phone up against the back of the night vision device and it works for pictures and video. We don't do this as much anymore, but a lot of our old night vision footage is literally just a guy holding a PVS-14 in one hand and a cell phone in the other. You can make it a lot easier by using some kind of little adapter just to keep your phone and your night vision device in the same position relative to each other. You can also get ones that fit GoPros, or you can get those little clamp thingies that clamp onto the end of the night vision device and also hold your phone. You have to go through a surprising amount of work to get something that performs better than just a cell phone smashed up against the back of a night vision device. If you have a fancier camera like a DSLR, you can get thread adapters that'll thread into the front of your lens and thread into the back of your PVS-14, and you can kind of jury-rig the whole thing together. BrassFacts uses that setup sometimes, and once you dial in the settings, you can get good quality video, but it makes me nervous. I get the feeling that dropping that setup would destroy your camera and your lens. Your PVS-14 would be fine. Those things are durable as fuck. The more interesting part of this topic, I think, is POV recorders. Being able to get a first-person view through the night vision device is pretty cool. I also especially like it because I can show you what different optics look like when you're trying to use them for passive aiming. There are some other benefits. For example, if you're doing like moving and shooting drills, it may be difficult for a camera guy to follow you along safely and still get a good view of the action. Point of view night vision video could be a little bit nauseating when you start running around, but at least it follows you everywhere you go. I think this is also generally the kind of video that military or law enforcement agencies would want when they're trying to record a mission. They're not really concerned with making it cinematic. It's kind of just like a night vision badge camera. They want a record of what went down. There are several options for cameras that clip onto the back of a PVS-14 and allow you to record everything through the tube that you see. They all kind of do the same thing, and they all kind of hit the same price point. The first POV recording device that I used for a while was the Unobtainium Gear Anvers. At that time, it was the most affordable of the night vision POV recorders, and it worked reasonably well. You kind of get what you pay for, though. The video quality of the Anvers was always really terrible. A lot of these devices have really bad dynamic range, so when you start using illumination, you just completely white out the image, and if you're not using illumination, the image is too dark and grainy to see anything. It consisted of two pieces joined by a flexible ribbon cable. The camera sensor bit was attached to a plastic clip that would snap onto the eyepiece of a PVS-14 or any night vision device using PVS-14 optics. However, it did require that you used a certain diopter setting and that you had the eye cup attachment ring installed. The body of the camera had the switch and the SD card reader on it and had a piece of Velcro so you could attach it to either your helmet or you could put an extra piece of female Velcro onto your nod itself. The Anvers wasn't the worst thing in the world, but it had some annoying qualities, and then I broke it pretty fast anyway, so not really something I would recommend. I gather that the flagship POV night vision recording device is the LPMR from a company called Because Operator. Cringe. When I bought the Anvers, that was the other main option on the market. I think it cost twice as much. I think you can also rule out the LPMR because it needs to be powered via an external battery pack, and for some reason it records automatically as soon as it's powered on. It just doesn't seem very convenient. And according to their website, it records in a 5-minute loop. I'm not sure if that means you have to unplug it or press a button or something like that to terminate the file and just capture the last 5 minutes of activity, or if it records in 5-minute chunks continuously. Either way, it sounds annoying, not very useful. I think the two best options for this on the market right now are the Brown Bear NVGR and the GRE X. They both seem very similar. I have the GRE X. The unit is self-contained in one piece. It has a clamp that goes around the eyepiece but does not require you to use that little eye cup ring, and it doesn't care what your diopter setting is. The GRE X has an internal battery, has a micro SD card slot, and it has a button to turn it on and off and also record. When it's on, there's an unobtrusive mode indicator light that lets you know whether you're in standby, recording, or powered off. Functionally, the GRE X has been fantastic for me so far. I actually used it to record all of Moons Out 2025. All of these devices that clip onto the back of your night vision tend to have some of the same issues. First of all, the camera sensor intrudes into your field of view. All of these things have a camera sensor on a little post that sticks up into your field of view, but not all the way into the exact middle, so you can see over it. Because it's so close to your eye, it does not block much of your view. It does mean that the view is off-center relative to the lens, so you get like the top 4/5 of the image of your tube. They also tend to be a little bit uncomfortable. If you adjust the position of the night vision device for optimal eye relief, then you won't be able to wear eye protection. The camera assembly will bump into your eye pro, so you have to move the night vision device farther away, and then you get less effective field of view. I like using eye pro even when I'm using night vision, even when I'm using dual tube night vision, but I do have to take it off when I'm using the GRE X. The camera sensor also ends up so close to my eye that I can feel it on my lashes when I blink. So comfortable to wear all night long. I've also had the GRE X kind of bump into the side of my nose when it was mounted at the 6 o'clock position on the night vision device. When I used it at Moons Out 2025, I shot the first night with it in the standard 6 o'clock position, and then I shot the second night with it on the side in the 3 o'clock position. That was substantially more comfortable, but having a slice taken off the right side of the image was really aesthetically unpleasing, so I guess I'm not doing that anymore. The GRE X gets the thumbs up for me if you want to record your POV night vision footage, especially if you want to do like a nighttime match. It's kind of a cool way to have a match record. I bought mine from Cold Harbor Supply. I think you can get it from various night vision retailers. I've also recorded a lot of night vision footage with the Psionics devices, the Aurora and the Opsin. I wouldn't really recommend either of them. The Aurora is just not powerful enough to be used during most conditions without prodigious amounts of supplemental illumination. I still have my Aurora Pro and I still use it a lot, but I have to work around its limitations, which means shooting early in the evening or exclusively shooting on nights with a very big moon high in the sky. It can be a good little handheld camera for simple, low-ish light recording, kind of like an early evening GoPro. That's about it. The Psionics Opsin has better performance and it functions like an actual monocular. I used mine to shoot and record all of the Moons Out 2024 match. The Opsin also has built-in recording that has no effect on the usability whatsoever, so it actually works pretty well to record what you see through the Opsin. The problem is that what you see through the Opsin is just not viable, in my opinion. And then they released a firmware update that puts their little watermark in the corner of every video that you take through that thing. Gross.
Begins to delicately unwrap the Cliff Bar.
You know what? We're taking out the bitch made.
The Cliff Bar wrapper has proved too much for him. He needs one of those Soylent bottle openers in order to access his delicious treat.
Is this like a nature documentary at this point?
Yeah.
Something that has caught my attention is the Mohawk helmet-mounted mission recorder. The Mohawk is an action camera that velcros to the side or the top of your helmet. They make a daytime version as well as an IR-sensitive black and white version. To me, this seems like it could be a great mission recorder setup. It doesn't capture your point of view, but also that means that there's no camera lens bullshit that's inside of your field of view, and also there's no extra weight hanging from the front of your face. I'm kind of tempted to try one of these things out, but Mohawk does make it clear on their website that the IR version does not work without heavy supplemental IR illumination. I might pick one of these things up and try to use it at Moons Out 2026, and there's a strong possibility that it's not going to capture a goddamn thing. I'm fully prepared to dump the footage and find out that I have several hours of a black screen where occasionally a white circle shows up. Hopefully I'm wrong. I mean, there's a first time for everything. Alright, this gun's done, dude.
Jesus Christ. Mouth. It's cooked.
Disappointed.
Yeah. Put another lower on it.
Yeah. Is that ammo? That fucking ATS stuff?
Neg. What the fuck? It's so erratic too. It's pelting my foot and shooting past me.
I don't want to be alive anymore. Anyway, that's all for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and happy gooning. My Gen Z advisors have just warned me to stop saying that. Anyway, let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Check out the links in the video description for ways to support the show. If you join the Subscribe Star, you get access to a lot of bonus and behind-the-scenes videos. Maybe that's your cup of tea, maybe it's not. Let's throw it to a video package of my fat idiot cat being an overweight moron, and I'll see you guys next time.